Hello and welcome. I hope you know what you are here for. Yes, this is the All Trinket Explained Guide. So firstly, let us get into the basics. We'll talk about what is Trinket, how to obtain them, and how can I get Trinket slot unlocker, etc. Then we'll go detail into what each Trinket does, and how much should I buy, and what should I equip for my different set of gears. For example, if you want running a speed build, defense build, etc. And let's jump right into it. Okay, so first, right now I'm running a hybrid build. Why do I choose this gear to show you guys? It's because it has one of the trinket from each category. So from the shop, go to the trinket section. Here is where you buy the trinket. The stat on the trinket basically adds a stat boost to your gear if you equip them, and it's completely randomized. Basically, you just have to wait for the days to go and hope you get a good one in shop. I believe it's different for each player, so just have to have good luck on it. Maybe try open the alt account to farm for the trinket is a good way, but the good ones do cost a lot of money, so just be aware of that. Save up in order to buy them. For where to equip them, you see the empty trinket slot stays on the gear you have. For the common ones, they don't have one by default, so you have to actually spend 4 of the trinket slot unlocker on them, which is a huge waste of pro ticket, I guess. But they do come in handy because they are easier to golden and whatsoever afterward. I will make a guide on that as well later. And for the uncommon, of course, 1 slot, rares 2 slot, and epic 3 slot. And you have legendary, which is pretty nice since they have all the trinket slot unlocked by default. I don't think there's much to say about that. If you use one of the trinket slot unlocker, you can unlock one of the trinket slot, and you can actually put any of the trinket you desired on them, which they give a special effect and the stat bonus on them, which is just added on your gear. So where do I get the trinket slot unlocker? It's actually from the shop. If you go to the boost, you'll see trinket slot unlocker in the shop for 300 pro ticket. You can get those pro ticket by doing the daily reward if you're not gonna do the pay to win. If you want to spend some money, then you can actually buy them in the shop as well, I believe. If you say buy pro ticket, here it is. I mean, I don't recommend just buying pro tickets, but if you really just want to, you can. So now we're gonna go in detail about each of the trinket does. Of course, you see there's a small description about what it does. For example, Sprint Stamina Saver, the item literally says provide a helpful boost to an item's ability. Reduced stamina used by sprinting. But how much exactly? Well, there's a way to find out actually. If you click customize and click loadout, it actually shows you how much stats you have, but don't panic. Click the loadout again. This is loadout 1, which is the one you have now, and click view stats. And here it is. I have one of the each trinket on, so you can see clearly what each one does here. And we'll rank them all together. Okay, so first let us start with the normal trinket. We have power up damage boost, which this one I think there's not much to say about it. It's just providing a little boost to the power up effectiveness. So click loadout, we can actually say one of the power up boosts gives 7.4% power up damage. I mean, it's alright, but am I gonna value it that much? I mean, there's much better trinkets later on, so I don't think 7.4 power up stun time is really good since power ups are not very consistent and sometimes you don't get really a lot of power up at all. And 7.4% on default means you can't really just stack a lot of them and get great effectiveness, so I don't know. I think this one's probably like a C tier. Next, we have sprint speed up, which I think is one of the best trinkets for speed builds. So what it does is provide a boost to your sprint ability. Here it shows plus 0.83 sprinting speed, which might be confusing on what it actually means. Example, this is only for example though. When you're sprinting, for example, let's say that number went up to 15 instead of 10. So now you get a 0.83 more of that sprinting. So when you sprint, your speed multiplier actually went to like 10.83. Not 10.83, my bad. 15.83. That's how it works. However, I do not know exactly about the speed multiplier in this game, and if you guys really want the details on that, I can go ask Cinderin. I just have to message him, I guess. And overall, I think this is just a really solid trinket. I'll give this like an S tier, just for that. Alright, next, we have stamina penalty down. I think this is easily an S tier, but I'll explain to you why. So when you see this, minus 10.6% stamina penalty for repeated moves, what does that mean? So basically, when you using your deck repeatedly, for example, spin dash or sidestep, basic dodge, whatever, for example, if you do them repeatedly by clicking space repeatedly, then each of the next deck after the first one will cost additional stamina. That's why when you see people with like 300 stamina, or you can really see a lot of difference in my videos where I play spin dash. The first spin actually didn't really took much of the stamina. It really feels like I can do like 4 spin dash or maybe even 5, but the second and third one just took all the stamina away. And I couldn't even do 4 stamina spin dash even with this amount of stamina. So I think that's very good trinket for defense users, but also good for defense users. This seems just good overall. Like, what can you go wrong with having more stamina? You do everything, and everything costs stamina. I don't think tackles benefit from stamina penalty down. I don't actually know really. I'll do a test on that later if you repeatedly tackle, if that's gonna do anything. I think this stamina penalty down minus 10.6% only apply to dicks, so overall, yeah, easily S tier. Why not get more stamina? Like, next we have heavy hitter. Of course, I love this name, but it is limited in usage, to be honest. It is the same percentage as the power up damage boost as we see, plus 7.4 tackles downtime. This just means your tackles will stun the opponent for longer when you hit them. However, the tackle itself doesn't even stun that long unless you're running like draw pick. Overall, I think this is kind of mid, and I'll give this like a C tier as well. There's just much more good options, so why use that? Next, we have the super conservation. This is actually a pretty solid trinket, to be honest. So what it does is, after your super, it actually gives you a plus 6.9 super conservation, which of course that's 6.9%, I'm pretty sure. As I said, 6.9% is not that bad. It basically means when your super ends, you just get another 6.9% super instantly charged, which I guess is alright, but are you really gonna cycle super like that? Unless you're running like a super build which uses super duration up and faster super charge, etc., and you getting 3 supers each game. Otherwise, are you really just gonna put this thing on its own when you can't really even get like 2 supers a match? I barely use its supers, and I usually just save them on my accounts when I play. I don't know. If you really just want super conservation, go with it. But overall, if you're just going to use it alone, then I think this thing is like a C tier as well. Alright, next, super duration up. I think you guys probably guessed it already. It is plus 1.7 super duration. It's just 1.7 second of super. Basically, after your super ends, you can still having a longer super of 1.7 second, which I don't think there's much of a point. Like, the super time is long enough. Why would you go for that long of a time? You probably won't even possess the ball that long, so why would you? Unless you're really just trying to chase up someone and just want to have a speed boost. But you can really just cycle another super and do something else in the time, so on its own, I think it's really mid as well. But I do think it's a little better on the usage. Sometimes that 1.7 second super can really save you, and I'll put it in the B tier just for respect, because it is actually better than the super conservation and the other bunch of trash stuff. Next, we have the Curveball boost. Yes, you don't know how much I like this trinket. It's the only useful trinket for power build in my opinion. There's other too, but don't even talk about them. Like skill shot power boost, faster pass charging is good, but what's the other short damage boost? Like what even is that? Curveball boost just giving you a bigger curve, and as we see from the stat, you get an 7% additional curve. Don't underestimate this 7%, like 7% is pretty big, especially when you have high power. If you're running a hybrid build and not pure power build like 300 power, I actually don't value this thing too much. If you want like try stacking 5 or 6, I think 3 or 4 of them is enough. A lot of shots, for example, our famous ground shot, which heavily depend on your curve. If you're just too far away and your curve can't reach, of course that can't do anything. And bigger curve means you have more space to the side, like you can easily make the side very reliable. Instead of just rolling from the middle, you can make your shot go from the side and just go across players. I guess that's a good thing. But overall, I think this is just the best go-to choice for power users, and just get them as soon as you can. I mean, it doesn't have to be good instead, we just want its effect, you know? S tier, of course. Alright, next we have super stun reduction. Of course, I mean, this is kinda mean, but don't underestimate this thing. I think this is probably one of the most effective trinkets in the game. Don't get me wrong, by the effectiveness I mean, look at this. Minus 14.2% stun time during super. Does anything even go about like 10%? Yeah, stamina penalty down does, but this thing goes to 40%. Like 14%, that's another category, bro. If you stack like 3 or 4, you can get like 40% boost easily. 40% stun time during super is like, you already took away half of the stun time when you use super, and now you're taking away an additional 40%. That's like only 20% of the original stun time. You're like getting up from the ground 5 times faster. Your opponent will be absolutely shocked, and I guess this can save a lot of time. Even if you get tackled during super, you can recover quickly. I think this is actually the first thing I'm gonna give an A tier to this list. Like, you can even put one of them on your gear for stamina build or speed build. It just helps you recover when you lost ball during the super. Like, don't be afraid to lose the ball, just get it back. That's the thing in this game. Next we have Steel Speed Boost. Oh my god, this thing is a menace, to be honest. When you have high speed, this thing can outperform a lot of things if you get a successive tackle. Here we see 6.7 speed boost on steals, but that 6.7% is flat speed bonus. Flat speed bonus, bro, is like curveball boost. It just gives flat bonus to your speed after you steal a ball. The only thing bad about it, I'd say, is the steals are really confusing in this game, and sometimes they don't register from, like, if you watch my iframe videos, you'll know this game sometimes doesn't register your steals a lot, and you don't get iframes. That means you don't get applied to this boost as well. You have to really make the steal sign show up, like plus 30 point made a steal to actually trigger this boost. So I don't think it's as good as sprint speed up, since you spend like 90% of your time sprinting. So this thing, if you actually can pull off tackles quite frequently, then go with it. Like, why not? You can just blast off after a tackle. Overall, is it better than sprint speed up? I don't think so, but at least I'll give it an A tier for speed builds. So firstly, we have the fast stamina regen. I think this is actually pretty good even for speed and defense users. Or even if you're running power, it gives us 6.1 stamina regen rate, which I guess is good, but the stamina regen rate is already really high in this game, so only adding a 6% onto the already high stamina regen rate, like, you're gonna regen off your stamina in like 2 seconds. So if you just get like 0.2 second off, for example, if you have 2 of them, you get 10% approximately. So you get 0.2 second off just wasting 2 slots. Is it actually that useful? I don't think so, especially when you can, and our stamina can't be stored after it's already fully restored. So overall, this thing is not as good as the other trinkets we talked about previously, but I'm still gonna give it an A tier for its usage, since it's the only thing that can make your stamina regen faster. And alright, we have the short damage boost, which is another trinket for the power build. However, don't ever consider using this trinket. Like, what is this? Gives a 7.4% short damage. Like, do you know what that means? That's the damage down to the goalkeepers. Like, what do you need that for? Murdering the goalkeeper, like, why? Why don't you shoot at the gap of the goal? Instead, you're just gonna shoot at the goalkeeper. Like, who does that? Why do you need this trinket? I think Sidering probably need to completely change this trinket. Like, I never seen someone uses this unless they're just really beginning the game and don't know what the trinket does. Overall, C tier. There's not much to talk about it. Like, why? Why would you use this? Okay, now we have the fast pass charging and skill shot power boost. For fast pass charging, I think it is actually useful sometimes. Like, take away 12.9% pass charge time. That's actually pretty good. Like, as I said, even though it's not like super effective since you don't pass like extremely often, but the bonus is really good. Like 12.9% is like 14.2% stun time. It's like super stun reduction. It's just really good. It's just flat bonus. So if you have high power and you looking have a good team, you can try pass a little faster. But is it that useful in most scenario? Like, why do you need to pass that long? Only if you have strategies with your teammates. So I don't know. I'll give this at least an A tier just for the respect of the stats. Alright. Fast pass charging was actually pretty useful, but not for the skill shot power boost. Look at this. Plus 29.5%. That's the highest percentage we ever saw in the game, but why on skill shot power? Like, what do you need for that? Skill shot power, are you just gonna use skill shot to shoot? Like, who do that? I mean, skill shot gives less curve than the euro shot, so why do you do that? In longer distance, I mean, you could try. I'm really sad about the power builds, bro. Why? There's just so many useless trinket in power, while the most of the speed trinket are in the meta. Like, why? No one's using skill shot for a reason. Like, they go slower, they have less curve, and they are harder to control. Like, the goalkeeper will surely read the input rate and just catch them. Like, what does that even do? C tier. There's no need too much to say about it. We have the rebound speed boost. For rebound speed boost, when you equip it, you get a 6.8% speed boost on rebound. This is really similar to steal speed boost, but I don't think I'll value it as much as the steal speed boost. Am I gonna really value it much? You have so much better choices like sprint stamina saver and sprint speed up, so this thing just kinda outclass. But I am gonna give it like a B tier. Steal speed boost is surely better than this thing though. Okay, as you see, I'm on the other accounts for now, just to showcase some other trinket. Right now we have the sprint stamina saver. For the sprint stamina saver, it's minus 5.2% stamina used by sprinting. I mean, it is such a low number that people will surely ignore it and went for sprint speed boost, but this is really key and essential for sprinting since you use up like 80% of the stamina just sprint around. Like, you spend so much stamina sprinting that your tackles and digs, they don't really drain that amount of stamina to save up your stamina. That's just cutting off your total stamina used. Like, that is really good. I'm having to go give this like S tier for its usage since you just sprint for so long in every game. Alright, as we see, if we have 3 of the same trinket, we only get a 2.1 sprinting speed, but one of them was 0.83, so shouldn't we get 2.49?